guy as well. He's a
that.
cracking guy. He's a lovely guy.
Yeah.
There's nothing he wouldn't do. He puts all the effort into it, and he hurts when they lose as well.
Yeah.
He does.
He deserves all the credit going.
Absolutely.
He's unlikely to get the BBC award, of course, but he will get one from UEFA for that record, which no doubt will stand for a very long time.
Deservedly so.
Yeah, it should be, you know, heralded from the highest hilltops, I'll tell you, because it's an incredible feat, as we said earlier. I just think that
Jim, how many campaigns have we actually scored 13 as a team, let alone have one individual player who would score 13 in a campaign? That's just incredible.
It is.
And of course, one of the big highs of this campaign has undoubtedly been the contribution of the Northern Ireland fans, voted as the best in Europe.
Well, we've always said that they're the extra man for us on the park, and they do give you such a lift. You know, in games like the Spanish game when you're 1-0 down and we're 2-1 down and we come back to win those games, those fans play such a big part. They lift the players and they give you the encouragement to go on and do things.
That travelling support, Jim, thousands in Gran Canaria tonight. It's fabulous to see.
Thousands locked out as well. I think, you know, the FA deserve an awful lot of credit for that. I think the atmosphere within the ground now is being fantastic. Brilliant. You know, and the build up the games, you know, and you know, if you're sitting in the dressing room at Windsor Park and you hear crowds, you know, it's certainly, you know, it's there to inspire rather than deflate. And I've played a few times whilst it's been pretty grim at times, you know, to see it now and experience it now, it is rocking the place. It does
and it says it all, doesn't it, Jerry, when the fans are expecting tonight that they think they can beat Spain. That's the level they've got to.
That's where you have to be. You have to believe that you can win away from home. You know, I think we should ship a lot of Northern Ireland fans over to Ipswich so this Jim can believe they can win away from home. But that's what it's all about. It's like having that belief. I'm not sure, you know, there was a little bit of apprehension tonight, and I agree with Jim. I thought the players were a little bit tired after the efforts against Denmark. Yeah. But we can certainly rely on them to do their part.
Okay, absolutely. David Healey has, of course, been the shining light during this Euro 2008 Odyssey, but another real positive is the emergence of a group of talented young players who should be the backbone of Northern Ireland teams for many years to come.
We need young players coming through, and you know, Kyle and Johnny and Sammy have been fantastic this campaign. They are household names now, and
they've come in and for the age of some of them, you know, to be playing at international level, you know, it's a step up again from any other level in the world, really. You know, it's international football. Come in and, you know, gone beyond expectation.
Obviously, Johnny Evans, he's still so young. He's part of the Manchester United squad at such an early age. He's going to be, you know, a Northern Ireland regular for the next 10 years. Hopefully longer, and you know, I think he'd probably be the one that's going to go on and hopefully break the 100 cap barrier for an outfield players. First game for Northern Ireland was against Spain, you know, at home, you know, and he went out there and played like he'd been playing for years. People forget Steve Davis is still pretty young. Guys like that coming through all the time, it shows that, you know, the ground roots of Northern Ireland football. Young kids are getting good coaching now and so coming through the ranks. Look at Kai in the Sweden game, you know, away in Sweden. You know, he put in a fantastic performance and scored a great goal.
He's got Healey, does he need every yes! Yes, Rafferty! Puts it in the top corner!
Sammy's just, there's nothing complicated about Sammy. He just goes out there and does the job. You know, and he's a very, very good footballer.
Nice to know that, you know, it's in safe hands. Like I say, they've come in and they've gone beyond what maybe anyone expected them to do. You know, it's credit to them the way they've played.
Well, David Healey thinks he'll get 100 caps, and certainly one of the big positives of this campaign was Johnny Evans' debut left back against Spain that night. Fabulous performance.
I think we'd all heard about Johnny Evans. I think we've all grown up with it, the legend that is Johnny Evans. And
just 19.
And just 19. And, you know, I was certainly aware of him, and when he made his debut, he was totally unfazed. I like all four of them because they've taken to it so naturally, you know, and both, or sorry, all of them look so comfortable.
Absolutely. I was fortunate enough to see Johnny playing as a 13-year-old when in the World Cup, and I couldn't believe he played centre half the first game, and he looked immense. Second half, he played centre midfield. He looked just as good. But I mean, you could play him in several positions, which is a fantastic quality to have, and looks so good on the ball and so good and commanding. He's going to be around for a long time. They've all done tremendously well.
Sammy coming in, you know,
Sammy Kling's been
Damien
great.
Johnson went out, was a, you know, because Damien was an influential player. Sammy coming in made it, you know, it was a lot heaped on him, and I thought he's, you know, reacted very, very well.
I think you've got to also say, because of the quality that's coming through from the under-21s, the under-19s, you know, Kenny Shields under-17s, Mal Donaghy, Roy, I mean, they've all done such a good job to bring such quality through over the last 6 or 7 years, so things are looking good.
I watched the schoolboy international side in Blackpool, and they played against England and were better in England. Paul Key and Kenny Shields done a fantastic job that night, and you know, they've got a lot of young kids who look as if they're going to be very, very good players. Yeah,
and as you say, Sammy Klingen just 23, Kyle Lafferty's just 20, and Steve Davis, who seems to have been around forever, is only 22. Future really bright.
You know, and when he first burst on the scene, you know, they talked about the England, you know, Healey's goal against England, and it was his magnificent little deft chip and gets him in, and he will have gained so much confidence from this campaign, you know, and experience, as we all know, at that level is so important, you know, and he will certainly gain in confidence.
It's funny you're talking about that, because when he came into the squad from the under-21s, Laurie was saying to me, what do you think of him? And he was great in the ball, and he says, he's a bit quiet though, and he's very quiet. And then after the game, when he played in the game and you saw the contribution he had, I said, I don't care if he's quiet, if he plays like that. And he has got a presence.
So he went and bought him?
He bought a few.
Yeah, the future is certainly bright. We know there's talent coming through, but what about who will be leading them? Will Nigel Worthington stay on? Should he stay on? Mark Sidebottom asked Nigel about his future after tonight's defeat in Gran Canaria.
Well, I've enjoyed it, and we said all talks would be after the campaign, so it's the last game. People are flying out on Friday to the World Cup draw, and we'll let them get back, and then we'll pick things up from there.
Jerry, is Nigel the man for the job?
He's definitely hedging his bets, sir. I think Nigel, like Laurie and like a lot of other managers, would like to have a club job where he's involved on a full-time basis. And I think Jim and I had a little chat about this earlier. He's done reasonably well after taking over. It's difficult to take over halfway through a campaign. He's had, I mean, the performance against Sweden away was fantastic. The game against Denmark, as Jim said, the performance from the players was great. So, I mean, I don't think there's any other names that are going to be any better coming out of the hat, but I'm not sure Nigel's committed yet himself to taking the job.
I mean, the AFA want to give him a contract, Jim, but I think he wants to see what the World Cup draw is going to be and what club jobs are out there, to be honest.
Yeah, I think so. I think, you know, he's been so used to day-to-day football since he was probably a young boy, you know, and the day-to-day running of a football club he's used to. You know, I think he's honest. I think he has really enjoyed it. He has, you know, and he's had ups and downs, and that's small space of time. He's had the good and the bad. I think we will see. It's a case of watch the space after the weekend.
I mean, he's not the overwhelming choice of the fans at the moment. Some want him, but a lot of people texting the programme didn't want him. They remember those away defeats, of course, to Latvia and Iceland. If you were a betting man tonight, do you think he'll be in place for the World Cup?
It's not down to what the fans ultimately think, though. It's about the Irish FA, and I think they have already decided they want him as their man. The Latvia games, I can see where the fans are upset because there was several changes made in the sides and the results went against them, so they're going to point the finger. But then you can turn around and say, what about the performances against Denmark at home and Sweden away?
Just on a slightly different note, after England's result tonight, could we see another Northern Ireland international, Martin O'Neill, as manager in there? What do you think?
I think his name has always been bandied around, and I think the media would like to see him involved with England, and I think his name will definitely be thrown in the hat.
He should have got the job the last time. I thought he was the man for the job the last time instead of Steve McLaren. And if he didn't get it, they should have given it to Sam Allardyce. But he will be in the hat once again. There's no doubt about it.
I think it'll all come down to if he wants it.
Of course. Thank you for your company tonight. If you had to sum up the whole campaign in one word each, Jim, for you?
Outstanding.
Fantastic, absolutely fantastic.
I knew you'd slip a couple of extra ones in there, Jerry. The players, management and fans have given us plenty to be proud of over the past 14 months. Now it's time to look ahead to Sunday's World Cup draw in Durban and hopefully a favourable group. My thanks to Jim Magilton and Jerry Armstrong tonight. Great to have you in the studio. And what better way to leave you than with the main man himself, David Healey, and his record-breaking haul of 13 goals in one European Championship qualifying campaign. And remember, of course, we're not Brazil, we're Northern Ireland. From all of us here, bye-bye.